Hey guys, it's He Dude. I guess I want to come back on here do I guess talking about Max Dillon, aka Electro, part 3, I guess, on my YouTube channel. Again, I guess for part 3 I kind of wanted to literally talk about, him in No Way Home, or Spider-Man No Way Home, which in my opinion, I didn't know that they were going to include. I'm like, I don't remember or recall if I think he was gonna appear, which I'm glad he did. But his appearance, I thought was a little weird because, like, I guess it's literally the same Electro from, obviously the Amazing Spider-Man 3, played by Jamie Foxx. Which, I mean, like, I would imagine he got literally pulled from Andrew Garfield's Amazing Spider-Man universe. And, again, in that universe, he was blue, which I did like how they kind of literally slightly had him look all blue. But, I don't know, it was weird how he fucking Tom Holland's Peter Parker tried to web him up. Because, I don't know, he looked like he was absorbing electricity. Then he just, like, really freaked out, did the fucking Electro theme song from Spider-Man 2, The Amazing Spider-Man 2, which I did like. But, like, then he just started attacking him or something. And, I think I remember that's when he starts interacting with Thomas Hayden Church's Sandman. Which, that was pretty cool. But then he ended up all human and everything. But he didn't realize he was, like, sent to, Tom Holland's Spider-Man's universe in the MCU. Then he was like, I got my body back, and then then he's like, so what? Louis just started looking at Thomas Hayden Church's Sam, and Tom Holland's Peter Parker's like, so what? Y'all gonna stand here and not act like I'm all butt-ass naked? And Sam was like, I am. He was like, oh my god. Bro. That's so fucking weird that they literally had him arrive in that universe with no fucking clothes on, which makes sense why he literally had him dress up with what looked like a fucking, I don't know, looked like a electrician uniform. I don't know what the hell that was at first. I'm like, oh, okay. I mean, I guess they wouldn't want him to literally arrive in that fucking dungeon with no clothes on, but I don't know. Again, I did like that they gave him different, or I guess he had the same powers, but just they were different because he was in a different universe. I'm like, I don't know how that even works. Different universe, but different powers. It's like, how does that even make remotely any sense? But the one thing I did like is how he literally strip referenced him being stuck in the grid in the Amazing Spider-Man 2. Like, saying he was whooping Spider-Man's ass and stuff, and he was, like, absorbing data, and then he was, like, oh, shit, and I was here. Then he literally was, like, fucking, literally saying, God, I love it here, which, I like how Max Dillon as Electro in this movie, he's basically just Jamie Foxx literally as Electro. I'm like, bruh. I like how they kind of made him more like Jamie Foxx, and it says, being how he was in the Amazing Spider-Man 2, but then it's like, oh my god, the interaction with him and all the other, villains, he ends up, Tom Holland's Peter Parker ends up with in this movie was, I'll admit, in my opinion, a little funny. It's like, I don't know, in my opinion, he just seems more like a cool dude in this movie than he did in The Amazing Spider-Man 2. It's like he just acts like two different people in this movie and, The Amazing Spider-Man 2. It's like, he just acts different in my opinion. But one thing I don't understand is, like, how easily he was convinced by the Green Goblin and shit, or, Willem Dafoe's Green Goblin. It's like, he ripped off the device that was literally just, I guess, trying to keep him from, like, going rogue or something. But, like, the one thing I do also love is how, in my opinion, how awesome the concept art or the concept suits he was going to, or it's like not all of them, but some of them. Like this one, it just looks like he has like fucking thunderbolts on his chest and stuff. It was like lightning coming out of his hands. Not to mention, one of them basically just looks almost kind of like, that fucking construction suit that he wears in the No Way Home when fucking wearing, worker boots or something. I'm like, that's just basically kind of what he ended up with, except he didn't have, facial hair or, hair on his head or something. Another one I do like, it's like kind of like a yellow version of the Amazing Spider-Man 2 suit, which, I mean, it looks really cool and badass, but it's like, but some more I also seen was again, some of these suits I really don't know what the name of them were, but the one that I kind of like, a little bit more was the one where he's like, looks like he's wearing fucking Iron Man armor or something, which makes sense because he was fucking wearing the arc reactor. But again, I don't know. I guess that one, in my opinion, would have looked cool. But the one that they went with, I mean, again, it kind of looks slightly like the one they went with, but like just not the same one. But in my opinion, I kind of like the one that they went with though. But I honestly thought Jamie Foxx's Electro in this movie was kind of badass. Like I like the line where he literally strips is, "You give it to me, I'm gonna destroy it, but I'll let you live." Which I don't know. This dude within this movie, I thought he was kind of weird, but I did like how they were kind of trying to simulate the whole. Classic Electro having the fucking lightning on his face, though, which I've never seen Electro have in a live-action Spider-Man movie in my life. But, like, again, like, personally, I don't know, in my opinion, he kind of was a little bit of a crazy person, because he literally straight up said to Peter, "Don't make me murderer, Peter." Like, I don't know, it was a little weird seeing him actually interact with Tom Holland's Spider-Man, though. It's like, because, he's Andrew Garfield's villain. I did like how he literally strip said that Andrew Garfield is like, "My old friend Spider-Man," and he's like, "I just want to help you, Max, that's all I ever wanted." He's like, "You're not trying to help me." He's like, "Yes, I am." He's like, "You ain't even the ship no more." I'm like, bro, that's funny as hell. I mean, again, the villains that they had in this movie, I did appreciate, because it was just basically them tributing all the villains, including just having all three Spider-Man in here. But I don't know, I kind of wish Venom was a part of it, but, Sony being Sony, it's like, that kind of made the whole thing, what it was, I guess. I mean, I did like how Dr. Otto Octavius looks like he was going to literally, be a villain there for a minute, and Electro was like, "I don't need your help, I got it just fine," and then he grabs him and just puts on the fucking device that he had on before and just dissipates the electricity, which I did like that they had all the villains, including him, go back to their universes by just using a spell that Doctor Strange had, which, again, I have to literally say, like, I'm kind of wondering if they literally end up sending him back to the moment where, he actually ended up dying or getting blown up by Gwen Stacy and Spider-Man, which, I don't know, it's like, I guess, I mean, people had to assume, something different had to have been prevented from them dying, because, I did look it up, and I guess his death was prevented in some way, because, I'm guessing maybe, it's funny because he needed electricity to survive, so it's like, did he still have the, electric powers, or did he just have electricity to just have him survive? But, like, again, like, most of the villains I do know of, like Dr. Otto Octavius as well, even survived, which I'm like, okay, so, hold up. did he survive the moment that, that fucking machine was about to, destroy New York? So, because it's like, he didn't have all four of his arms. So it's like, again, how did he survive if he didn't have the four of his arms? It's like, that's what doesn't make very much sense to me. It's like, how does that even really work? But not to mention, I do wonder if Norman Osborn or Willem Dafoe's Norman Osborn survived as well, because again, he ended up, I'm assuming, going back to his universe, for the moment where he died and got killed by his own glider and shit from Spider-Man 2002, which I'll admit, in my opinion, that's been like one of the most memorable fucking moments of, the Raimi Spider-Man trilogy in my entire life. It's like, I don't know, that movie made my childhood. It's like, I can't underestimate that enough. But it's like, I never realized how similar, in a way, all the Spider-Man villains' fates are. Because, like, most of them literally died and shit. It's like, I don't know. I mean, because, like, 3 out of how many of the villains literally died. And it's just like, again, it's like, it's no wonder why, I guess, Peter wanted to literally try to help them. But it's like, when you think about it, it's kind of a little bit of his fault that all that happened. But then again, they couldn't really, control themselves because, Green Goblin had to open his big fat mouth. But again, I mean, the Lizard, it's like, I feel like he didn't have much screen time, which then again, the only reason why he didn't have much screen time is because he was a fucking lizard the entire time. And, the original actor didn't, I guess, kind of Thomas Hayden Church, they couldn't really do any scenes where they were actually human, which explains why Sandman was a literal Sandman. So that kind of makes a lot of sense. Not to mention this movie was being done during COVID times or, during the lockdown era, which I can't believe that was that long ago. But I did like that they included, some of the maybe used footage from The Amazing Spider-Man to, have him, go back to being human, which I thought it was cool that, they had Tom Holland just basically do that Andrew Garfield did in the first Amazing Spider-Man movie like 13 years ago. Oh my god, I can't believe that was more than 10 years ago. That's crazy. But honestly, like, again, it just basically felt like they just reused footage that they used for, the first Amazing Spider-Man movie. But again, I mean, I'm talking about Electro here, but like, I did like that they actually had like an actual action figure. I keep saying actually, I'm sorry. I do like that they actually had a for real toy of Max Dillon, which I don't know. I might get or see if they still have that, because again, it's been 4 or 5 years since that movie came out. But like, honestly, like, I pretty much think he looks pretty damn cool in that fucking suit with all the electricity. Not to mention just recreating the fucking classic mask, which, not to mention, I know they don't only have a toy of it, they even have like a Lego minifigure as well, which I think looks honestly cool as well. I mean, because I know that set really came out, I don't know if it came out when the movie came out or it came out after the movie came out. But like, they even had the fucking Amazing Spider-Man style Electro, which I think that looks just as cool, in my opinion. But again, like, I mean, I'll always like the blue style Electro from Amazing Spider-Man 2, which honestly was something I wanted to get to this video for a bit. I never actually really didn't mind the redesign change that they went with for No Way Home instead of just, going with the fucking blue Dr. Manhattan, fucking Amazing Spider-Man 2 style, which I like that style. But it's like, it kind of makes him more human when they literally redesign his character like that. But I know there was a lot of concepts for, the Lizard, Tom Holland, Spider-Man, and Electro, and a lot of other characters that didn't get their, redesigned suits. But, what they went with in the movie, I think I was pretty much totally okay with. I mean, not to mention there's like even the deleted, extended fight between Tobey Maguire's Spider-Man and Willem Dafoe's Green Goblin, which I kind of wish was in the movie. But I understand maybe why they left it out, because it would have been too long, or it's like they didn't want to overwhelm people while watching the movie, I'm guessing. But I think that would have been cool if they left it in there. So I guess that's it today for me talking about Max Dillon, aka Electro. I don't know if I'll do a part 4. I think this might be it for me talking about Max Dillon's Electro. So I guess maybe leave a comment down below if you guys want to subscribe, share maybe. I'll see all you guys there. Peace out.